sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS.
It's funny. I've had several people in the last couple of weeks tell me, Walker, I listen to your podcast all the time. I get your newsletter, read your stuff on LinkedIn. I got no freaking idea what it is that you do. I don't know what services you have, what you could do for me or anybody else, if anything. And I said, well, that's my fault, of course. And so I thought I would mention today, I have a couple of different programs that we are starting this year. One of them is for individual salespeople or entrepreneurs or founders that say, shit, I got to get better at sales. Maybe I'm okay at it, but I need to do better. I'm doing too much free consulting, or I'm wasting a lot of time with people that aren't buying, or it's taking too long to get people to buy, or I don't know how to price things. Right. And that can be, so somebody that doesn't have access to good sales training, right? So we created a program for people like that. It's a group training program. I also do some one-on-one training with some founders and owners if they want to do that. But typically it's a group training program. We've made it affordable. And the people that are in there that are applying what they know are getting, 5 to 10 time return on their money in 12 months. That's pretty damn good. That's what they're telling me anyway. So that's one thing. The other is I have a corporate training program. We do private training for larger sales teams, which means probably 10 to 25 salespeople. Sometimes we've done more. Sometimes we've done fewer, just depending upon the situation. We do private training for them, where we take the No BS sales system and we modify it for their business, for their company. So if you're running a sales team and you think, shit, we could do better this year, we need to turn into a group that goes out and gets business instead of one just answering the phone. We need to go get higher margin business. We need to go get better clients. We need to quit making excuses. Probably time to reach out and talk to me. Let's see if I can help. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but at least you'll get you'll hear straight from me one way or another. I won't feel any pressure to sell you anything. I just want to have a real conversation. So thanks for listening. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I have experienced, and then I named it. And I call it the 47-year-old problem. What the hell is the 47-year-old problem, Walker? Well, thank you for asking. The 47-year-old problem is sometimes people that are within 5 years either side of 47 years old wake up one morning and they say, you know what? I'm miserable. This sucks. I've been working 25 years roughly, right? Since I was 22. And I've had one job or 5 jobs or whatever. I'm a corporate lawyer or whatever. And I'm fucking miserable. This is not where I thought I would be 25 years into my career. And the problem is, oftentimes they have another 15 to 20 years to go. And so they get to this place where they say, I'm miserable. This sucks. I feel soulless. I don't like the people I'm working with, or I'm not challenged, or I am over my head. I'm managing people, which I never wanted to do, or I'm in this job, which doesn't fulfill me. Right. And at that point, they come to a place where, I don't know, they don't have to make a choice. I had to make a choice. Do you just put your head down, keep making the money, keep doing the job because it's safe, keep doing the job because it pays your bills? Or do you say, fuck it, and pull the ripcord and start over? Which is the path that I took, which was a very hard path. But I wouldn't have done it. Given what I know now, I would have absolutely done it again. It's one of the hardest. The decision wasn't hard. What happened over the next 3 or 4 years was hard as hell. But where I'm sitting now, it's worth every bit of it. So let's talk about the 47-year-old problem and why it happens and what happens. And maybe if you're there, somebody's there, maybe what you can do about it. It doesn't have to mean that you overturn your apple cart like I did and create chaos for your family and your friends and all that stuff. But again, it's worth it for me. So for me, I've had 5 different careers, I think 4 or 5 different careers. I change on a regular basis, but I had been in the sales training business for 14 years working with a guy. I think it was 14 years, 13, 14 years, something like that. And he was great. He was my mentor before I started working with him. And then we became sort of business partners and we worked together. And over time, hell, we made a lot of money. We had a really good business. But over time, I let the relationship fall apart. I didn't keep up with it enough, right? And I just kind of let it. Anyway, I was kind of a shithead, and probably didn't appreciate where I was. But it was something that I wasn't willing to fix. And I woke up one day. Maybe y'all have heard me tell this story, but I went to go have lunch with a friend of mine. I decided I was going to leave. I told Sally I was going to leave, and she's like, "Okay, we can do this." And but I wasn't going to tell anybody else because it wasn't anybody else's business. And I was just going to kind of bide my time for a week or a month or something to kind of wait for the right time. And I went to lunch with a friend of mine, a client of mine, and sat down, and he said, "Hey, you look like shit." And which is, by the way, it's a great way to greet somebody. And it's awesome because it always throws people off, and it threw me off. And immediately I couldn't hide it anymore. I was like, "I'm miserable. I hate my job. I've got to leave. This is no fun." And I went on, and I said, "This is 50% my fault, and it's 50% his fault, and da-da-da-da." And I look up, and he's giving me the stop sign. He gives me the handout like the stop sign, the international sign. I said, "What?" And he said, "You're wrong. It's not 50% your fault. It's 100% your fault." I was like, "Ouch, that stings. I know you're right, but tell me why." He said, "Because if you're giving somebody else 50% of the credit for your being miserable, you'll be mad at the wrong person for a really long time." I was like, "Shit, you're right. You're absolutely right. It is 100% my fault." And so immediately when I learned that, most of the stress went off of my back because it was up to me completely. And I was able to go to my sort of business partner and say, "I'm sorry. I've been a complete ass. I'm not happy. It's my fault and I need to go fix it. And that's not going to be here." And so we had a relatively okay breakup. And I moved on and he moved on and he did great and I'm doing great. But that was the place that was what I had to do, right? Was stop making excuses, stop blaming somebody else, take responsibility for who I was and what I was doing and where I currently was, right? Because where you are right now in almost everything is a compilation of the decisions you've made up till now. The job that you have, the car that you drive, your wife or partner or husband or whatever are based upon decisions that you made along the way. And so you wake up sometimes and go, "Shit. All right, what happened?" Right? It's the talking heads. This is not my beautiful wife. This is not my beautiful house. What am I doing here? So I've told you the story as well. I think about the 3 boats, right? Where most of us are riding through life in one of 3 boats. The first boat might be a raft where we're bouncing, just kind of floating down the river, going wherever the boat goes. We are there with a lot of other people just like us are right there in the raft. And so it seems normal, but you really are not taking responsibility for the direction of your life. It's just where we're going. And oftentimes it's a comfort zone or sometimes it's a trap. Just depends on where you are. And what your mindset is at the time. And you wake up at some point and you go, "Shit, where am I? Where are we going? What is this?" Or maybe you never do. You just ride along in the boat and everything's fine. Or everything's just what it is, right? Had no control. The second boat you might be in is a rowboat, which is maybe you jumped off the raft for whatever reason. And you said, because there's something there that was driving you crazy, right? Whether it was a problem, it was a relationship you're getting away from, it was a monetary thing, it was something, right? But you are in a rowboat, which means you're looking backwards at where you've come from and you're rowing like hell to get away from it. You are getting away from whatever it was that made you angry, that made you upset, that helped you realize you weren't in the right place. So I've certainly been in the rowboat in my life a bunch of times, right? And probably was when I left my last paying job. But the problem with the rowboat is eventually you're going to burn out. Most people can't keep that level of, I'm going to call it angst or anger or fear for a long time. You wear yourself out. And then sometimes they choose to get back in a different rowboat, right? Or the third boat you could get in, right, is a canoe. And the canoe is where you are looking forward. You're paddling towards something. Your boat's turning left, right, a little bit at a time, but you can adjust as you go along and you know where you're headed and you're relatively in control. And we could take this analogy as far as you want, right? There are waves that come over the damn canoe from time to time. Can it be scary? You're damn right it can be, just like all of them, right? But the canoe is where I like to be. I want to be moving forward, feeling like it, I'm taking responsibility for where I'm going, doing the work, getting it done. I guess at some point you can move into a sailboat, but I'm not quite there yet. So the 47-year-old problem happens right when we're in the raft, I think. And you're looking around, all of a sudden you're like, shit, I just woke up and what is this place? Why am I here? So if this is you, if this resonates with you or somebody you know, here's some advice. Number one, own it. Own your situation. Realize that this is wherever you are is because of decisions that you have made, right? There are no excuses and it's nobody else's fault. Step number one, own it. You can say things like, I haven't figured out yet how to fix this. Or I haven't figured out yet how to get along with this asshole boss of mine, or I haven't figured out yet how to get out of the managing people business, or I haven't figured out how to get into the managing people business, whatever. Own it. Own your situation, right? Next, I want you to fix what you can. What do you control that you can fix about your current situation? Maybe it is that you need to change jobs. Maybe you just need to say, you know what? I'm miserable here. I'm not, remember, you can't fix anybody else. All you can fix is yourself. Damn it. Right? So maybe you need to, maybe you just need to change jobs. You don't have to do something so radical as to, start your own company. Maybe you want to do that. Maybe you buy a company. Obviously, depending upon your situation, what your goals are in your life. Maybe it's just that you rearrange your life so that things are better. On one hand, here's what most of us need to do at the 47-year-old problem. Go look after your health. Lose weight. Quit freaking smoking. Quit drinking so much. Go work out. Get a healthy diet. All this stuff, you know this shit, right? This is nothing new that you don't already know. But go take care of this vessel of your body and your brain that is going to take you through the rest of your life. Several of us have had friends in the last week who dropped dead at way too young. And or friends that have different diseases. We're not guaranteed another day. You've heard that a million times too. If you're miserable right now, take ownership of where you are. Work on improving your current situation. If you can't change jobs for whatever reason, then change your situation. Work to improve yourself. Get in better shape. Either jump or stay. But here's the thing. Quit bitching. Take ownership of it. Don't complain about your situation. Fix your situation. As soon as you start to take ownership of where you are, take care of yourself, right? Feed your body the right stuff. Move intentionally to get in shape, right? To better yourself. It's a great way to begin to change your outlook. Get some help. Hire a coach. Find a mentor. Get a counselor, right? Whatever it takes. This is your life. As they say, there's no freaking, this is not the dress rehearsal. This is it, baby. It's the only shot we got. We're getting older every single day. And as I am noticing that I notice that a whole lot more than I used to, right? Life goes by so fast. Don't do what you want to do. I think that's bad advice. But get somewhere where you can make where you can find some joy, where you can find some meaning in your life, and you can make money and you can take care of yourself. I'm Walker McKay, No BS Sales School Podcast. If you want to have a conversation with me, 803-917-2817 or walker@walkermckay.com. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to No BS Sales School Podcast. If you haven't already, please take 1 minute to write a quick review for the show. It really does make a huge difference. Also, subscribe to the show and please forward this episode to somebody else who needs to hear it. As a bonus for listening, I'm going to give you access to a free mini course, 7 expensive sales mistakes you're making and what you can do about it. Go to www.7salesmistakes.com and get access to the free mini course. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School Podcast.